Hi everyone, hope everyone's well. This evening I am playing the American Civil War from Worthington, part of their Hold the Line series of games. This is Cross Keys stroke Port Republic, and the historical date is July the 8th to the 9th, 1862. In terms of the actual scenario itself, this particular scenario, the Union on the left side of the board, Confederates all around here. The Union have 2 victory points which they're going to try to aim for in this evening's game. They don't need to get them to win, but the way that I'll play this solo, and I am playing the game solo this evening, we will be pushing, the Union will be pushing to get one or both of those objectives. Interestingly, too, the Union have not an insubstantial amount of reinforcements during the game. So they've got quite a few different additional units that could be coming onto the board, roughly this sort of area over there. It won't take too long to play. There are like 24 turns, but this game, once you get your victory points, the game's finished. So normally this game in the series, you might play half or just over half that number of turns, for example. Depends on how the game shapes up. I do need to put the leaders to their units, so I'll sort that out, and then we'll play a couple of turns, and then I'll stop there. I'll stop and make a quick recording and explain how the battle is shaping up. I have done quite a few videos now on, well, I've done a couple, I say, on this particular game, so I'm looking forward to playing this evening. So I've just done a couple of turns, already straight into the action. The Union and Confederacy taking heavy losses both sides. Got 2 units here down to their last wooden block. The Union are trying to push the Confederacy this side of the map, ready to take this victory point here. Confederacy are hoping just to hold on, especially to these key hexes here, defensive hexes, which they're doing quite a good job of already. They are also moving reinforcements ready to head off the Union, which will be coming on sort of the top right of the map over this sort of direction. Now, I made a conscious decision from the Confederacy point of view to reinforce the other side of the river. Time will tell if that was a good tactic or not. I and ahed whether I thought the Confederacy should move across this side of the river and get involved in this, but leave that other side open for a later turn. I think the Union reserves will be entering the game around about turn 10 or 11, something like that from memory. Probably ought to check the scenario really, but I know it's not the first few turns. So we'll see if that pans out. So far, the Union are quite honestly just getting their asses kicked by the Confederacy. They have valiantly tried to push on the Confederacy here, and have just been ruthlessly devastated, badly mauling. The Confederacy have gained 2 victory points as a result. The Union have gained 1, but the Union are in a right old pickle, as we would say, because they have 3 units here down to the last block. And when those blocks are eliminated, the Union will get a victory point. So it's 3 easy victory points there for the Confederacy. However, the way I'm playing this is a Confederacy very much on the defensive. So they're going to hold these positions here. The Union in their next turn will be able to move these out of harm's, somewhat out of harm's way, and then try and engage. They need to hold this bit of woods here. I think one of the things that I've quickly learned, when you're playing a game like this, it's always good to reflect, is that I've played the Union very aggressively right out of the gate, and took the fight to the Confederacy, and it's just not paid off so far. We've got quite a few turns left until the Union will get their reinforcements, and they just may come in too late. It could well be that the Confederacy are just going to hold this defence and be able to repel the Union attacks and then mop up any survivors and get the remaining victory points in that manner. We shall see. Yeah, so we're going to call the game there. Not surprisingly, the Confederacy just gave the Union a sound thrashing, as we would say here in the UK. To be honest with you, and they gained the victory points. The Union lost a commander in one of the units with just some unlucky die roll. I think actually every dice roll went against the Union, every dice roll went for the Confederacy, and they pushed hard on this side of the map, valiantly trying to push into the Union lines, but they just couldn't get through. And in particular, it was the Union cannon that did the most damage. So you can imagine those cannons ripping through the advancing ranks of Union as they advanced into the woods and tried to advance this side of the river, and just ripped them to pieces. And that was the battle. That was the battle done. We didn't even get as far, not quite as far as the turn for the Union to bring on reinforcements. And I felt like that the narrative of the battle had played out, really. I could imagine the Union forces pushing hard and engaging and bravely marching towards the Confederacy guns and just being given a sound mauling in doing so, brave as they were. Quite enjoyable, a very enjoyable evening war game. It's a quick to play game. It's and this game has shown this really well, is it can be quite a devastating game. It's quick. If you rush in too much, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble very quickly, and that's what happened to me playing on the Union side tonight. I pushed the Union very aggressively towards the Confederacy, and right into their guns, and there was nothing that the Union could have done about it. Next time I play this, I think I will play a longer game, and I think I'll deliberately hold the Union off just to get through a few turns. I think the Union need those reinforcements, and they do have substantial reinforcements. It's 8 units of infantry, and there's another unit of artillery, of cannon. So that would significantly have helped the Union. And then you have a battle of both sides of the board, and that would be very interesting. But with wargaming, especially wargaming solo, you try things for both sides. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That means you're informed for the next time you play it. And I'm looking forward to playing this scenario again, playing quite a different tactic, I feel. I felt, I hadn't done the Union justice this evening when playing them. And that's okay, because this is how we learn. We learn about the military history. And it, again, showed me the evidence of just rushing in too quickly, very aggressively, which sometimes can work very well, but not this evening. And everything went in the Union, in the Confederacy favour. Nothing went in the Union's favour, and the fickle hand of fate did not shine kindly on the Union this evening with the dice rolling, but did so very much so on the Confederacy. So a very unpleasant wargaming evening. Very much enjoy. It's a very light game system. It's perfect if you've been at work all day and you just want to play something a bit fast and furious type dice rolling, play with a friend, or play it solos very well, or play on your own playing solo. So I think this will get packed away for this evening. I think next on the table we'll probably back to the American War of Independence, the Revolution War, or maybe a Napoleonics game. We'll see. But thanks a lot for watching. As always, I'm also always really interested. If you've played this particular scenario, please let me know in the comments how the scenario played out for you. I'd love to hear different thoughts on this particular scenario. This is the first time I've played this scenario from memory, so quite a learning curve for me. So enjoyed that very much. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching as always.